Welcome to the Phlarp Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group. We engage in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We also participate in ad-lib dialogue with each other in an attempt to portray a character, and many of us also wear costumes. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri, every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. We strive to create an environment that facilitates our players' immersion as much as possible so that regardless of their previous experience with LARP, they could participate and have a fun and memorable LARP experience. We want to help people create friendships, relationships, and memories that will last a lifetime. It is our hope here at the Phlarp Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players so that we can maximize player retention and expand our player base. The Phlarp Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon, where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening. And we're live. Welcome to the Phlarp Podcast. We're back. Today, I'm one of your hosts, North, Jason Smith.
And I'm Brandon Frazier, or Daveen Allman.
And I'm Chris, the God, Eric the Red.
And for the co-host today.
And I'm Michael Francis, or Trinity. Glad to be back.
We're glad to have you back.
Yeah. We don't have to ask you, I guess, the obligatory questions, huh?
Right? I mean, you can make up new ones, I guess.
Yeah. We already discussed the pineapple thing last time, didn't we? Were you on that one?
Yeah, I was on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max, we already asked that question.
What are your feelings? What are your thoughts on soft batch cookies?
I love soft batch.
Love the
Yes,
soft batch,
yes.
huh?
I prefer soft batch.
Prefer?
Yeah.
I can't
Man.
stand
I
hockey
like green
pucks.
eggs and ham.
Ah, okay. I mean, that sounds
That's-
like it's right up your alley, I guess.
Green hair,
No, but
green
I mean, I'm
eggs.
one of those people that would rather pull cookies out of the oven like 3 minutes early than
Yep.
like 30 seconds late, because I do not like hard cookies.
Yep.
They're not good.
Did you try those really crunchy ones I brought out that time?
No, actually, the one that I had that you made was pretty soft today. It was pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah, today. But last time I burnt
Oh,
them.
they were terrible.
Yeah, they were like super crunchy.
They were
last
almost
time.
as bad as your jambalaya.
Almost. Yeah.
Zatarans is the taste of New Orleans. They wouldn't put it on a box if it wasn't true.
So there. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to use that one.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. So
They still suck.
what?
The
Zatarans?
Or the
Yeah.
cookies?
Or should
If
I
I
just say
thought
your
that-
jambalaya?
If I thought I could convince you, Sir Grinch, that they didn't suck, I would try. But I
Hardly.
I don't know if that I can do that. So.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'd rather eat garbage,
Yeah, I can
Wow.
see that.
Some garbage is pretty good.
Do you like-
especially
do you
on
like-
Mount Krampus.
Do you like skins in your garbage or?
Most definitely.
Okay.
I hate them.
Is your heart too small?
3 times, actually.
You have a
Three
heart.
times smaller than yours.
Are you a one-upper? Or a downer, whichever one.
So,
So.
discuss the recap?
Moving
Yes.
on.
Yes,
Yeah,
Max.
you want me to show we move on?
So what happened today?
Well, we played.
Well, first off, we had a costume contest. Let's
Yes,
start
we
with
did.
that, because we did have some cool costumes.
Yeah, that's true. You won 20.
Yeah, you weren't the Grinch, but you placed. So how's that work?
Yeah.
The Grinch did win, but
The
The
Grinch
armored,
did-
the armored.
The armored
armored
Grinch
Grinch,
won,
yes.
but he used inspiration from me.
Oh, okay.
this is true. He heard us talking about it last week on the podcast.
I did.
Okay.
I listened, and it was just as terrible as always.
Wow.
Wow, that hurts.
Yeah.
That's because, you're on here.
I mean, that's probably
Specifically you.
I say we get rid of that guy.
Oh,
put it to a vote.
that's one vote.
One vote for me. What do you say, North?
Do what? Okay, I vote yes.
Oh, there's 2 votes.
Yep.
Trinity?
I'm going to abstain.
Oh,
That's
Only
not
two.
majority rules. Sorry.
I'm Sweden.
Shall we make a phone call? Can we phone a friend?
It's nobody on this podcast, so they don't matter.
Well, they suck. All right, so anyway, but yes, Trinity won, so congratulations on that win.
Thank you.
for his very his Grinch-inspired costume.
Why?
Yeah, I was really surprised that you came out with that costume
yeah.
because we were literally talking
Yeah.
about that.
And that's
Grinch
what
being in
prompted me to do
Phlarp.
it. I was like, man, I got to do this. Someone said that I would make a good Grinch, so I was like,
Yeah.
no, I probably would. And
Yeah.
I have grandkids, so I'm going to surprise them Christmas Eve when they come over to our house, and I'm going to take their presents from them as the Grinch.
Speaking of that, has anyone seen the video on the internet this week of the Grinch coming in and taking
Yeah.
these kids' presents?
Yes.
And this one kid he's like probably 7, 8 years old. He is throwing haymakers at this Grinch. Like the dad has to get involved to like hold him back. He is not happy. He's like trying to fight the Grinch.
Just stop
I
him
mean,
from
that's what I
stealing.
do. You know, I take their Christmas gifts.
Was you gonna fight that kid?
I was.
Could you have taken him if his dad had
Man.
held him back?
Tell you what, that little kid, I would have given him a 2-piece and a biscuit.
Fair enough.
Pow.
Let's see. Costume
The old
contest.
1-2 combo, huh?
Second place was Rose. She had that cow costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
She went by Moo today.
Yeah.
And then what was it?
Yeah,
third?
she had face paint on and everything too.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
cool.
It was-
she had like
Her
a
nose.
whole like cow nose
Yeah,
and
It
everything.
was neat.
It was a nice costume.
Yeah, she did a really good job.
And third place was
Oh, I'm back. Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
third place was a Christmas tree, if I remember correctly.
He looked a lot like a Christmas tree. Yeah.
Christmas tree?
Oh, that's funny.
That guy. That guy.
Dumbass.
Yep, that guy.
I
yeah.
made that joke to my wife earlier.
Yeah.
She's like, what would Chris dress up as? And I told her, and she's like, she busted up laughing. It just didn't carry over here.
Yeah. Some people are a little
I didn't think
quicker
about
than
it. That's
everybody
pretty
else.
funny, actually.
Maybe your wife's just smarter than us.
Maybe.
We're a little slow on the uptake.
I mean, that's fair. We don't even have to say maybe. Oh, gosh. What did we do next?
and then we played
Last man.
Last Man Standing, and then we let someone choose what to play for next, and it was Minion got chosen, so we played that. And then
It was Moo.
Moo chose.
Moo
Yes.
chose.
And by the way, Heston Iverson won Last Man Standing.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and then who got second and third? Do you even know? I guess it don't matter as much, but
It was cold, so our brain cells aren't working that great, especially mine.
Raven came in second, and I believe Ark came in third.
oh okay.
So we let Moo pick the next game, which turned out to be Minion.
Right.
Minion's
then-
always fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Actually played in that one.
Who won Minion?
That's a good
JD,
question.
I think.
Aridin and Pora.
Aridin
Oh
and
yeah.
Pora.
hmm
Lord.
Yeah,
Aridin
and-
and Pora.
The Magistrates played in a few games
Mm-hmm.
today, which was pretty fun.
I actually had fun.
Increased
know,
role play, I thought too.
There-
I
I
think
mean,
it does a good job to do
There
that.
for a while, we were doing some Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
10 minutes of
and
it.
had, well, I mean, I don't know how long I was doing it, but we were doing some Facebook Live. Had some really, really good RP in that. So
Cool.
And
That's what we like to hear.
And again, it was pretty cold today, and I was pretty happy with the numbers. There was a good amount of people out there, considering it was cold.
Yeah, it was-
I think I
What was it,
counted.
like 25 degrees or
I
something?
think it was 31 or 32.
Oh, well, it
but
felt
yeah.
colder.
Yeah, when I counted,
Maybe with the wind.
about
chill.
halfway through the day, we were at like 15, and I think a few more showed up after that. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we're
pretty
still
good.
averaging
Close to 20.
close
yeah.
to 20 each week, and especially with as cold as it is, that's really good.
Yep, I'm happy with it.
I am.
And
That's
then-
win.
And then we played a scramble, which was kind of the same situation. The Magistrates also played in that one, which made it way fun, in my opinion, I guess.
Well, you
So
got to
it's-
play, so
yeah, it was fun for me, I guess.
Yeah. We did have one fight in town.
hmm
Between
Oh.
a couple of people.
couple
Um,
magistrates.
couple of magistrates broke into a fight.
Do we want to talk about who won that fight? or-
I mean, I think it was a draw.
no, that's not how I remember it.
I have it on video.
Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
And yeah, Daveen definitely kicked North's butt.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
that's how I remember it too.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
I was cold and like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I wasn't. I was perfectly
yeah,
warm.
Yeah.
yeah,
I was like ready to go for that fight.
right.
I initiated it probably. you
Yeah,
know?
if I'd had more time to mentally prepare,
Sure.
I'm sure I would have won. You
Sure.
just kind of jumped, surprised me with it. and
Sure.
You were hitting me with your sheathed weapons for some reason. I don't know
Right.
what was up with that. That
Yeah.
confused me.
I understand.
So,
I mean, doesn't North always lose? He's just that guy.
when did you come back? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the Grinch should be able to jump in and out here.
Max,
he's-
get him.
He's selectively hosting.
Well, I just come in when I feel like it.
He keeps stealing Chris's spotlight, or Eric the Red's spotlight.
Well, clearly Eric the Red's not a god. That's all I have to say about that.
I mean, if
Um,
the Grinch can overpower him.
Something about Eric the Red. He just said, screw this. I'm out of here. I'm God flashing. I don't know.
He's flashing God. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
He said something about, kiss his. Yeah.
His Tookus?
Yeah, that one.
Fair enough. Well, let's talk about that last game we played because
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, like it was
Yeah.
really cool.
So if you listened last week, we were talking about an AI-created game, and
We adjusted it.
we talked a little bit about it in chat and stuff, and we actually have 2 or 3 different versions that we want to try, but we definitely tried one, and I thought it went really well.
Yeah, I thought it worked really good.
Just to explain it real quick, basically everybody got a name, picked a name out of a hat as they entered the battlefield. The names in the hat only consisted of people who were also playing. And then, so when you're on the battlefield, you're in 2 states. You either have your name or somebody else's name. And if you loot anybody, because after they die, when they're bleeding out, you have like a loot period where you can loot them. If you successfully loot anybody, you would basically trade names with them unless you had their name. So if the dead person, if you had killed somebody and you had their name, instead of, well, you would trade names, but they would just take their name off the battlefield and be dead and be permanently dead. Whereas if you didn't get your name traded by somebody when they looted you, you could just go resurrect like normal. And if you had your own name and somebody killed you and looted you, it just outright killed you and you didn't trade names, you just left the battlefield. And I thought it went pretty well. I mean,
Yeah,
this
no
is a little
complaints for me.
confusing explanation, but
It seemed like they understood it fairly well for the most part.
once
There
the
was,
process was understood about how to exchange names and go res and come back and all that, it kind of...
I do think the game needs changed a little bit. Nothing crazy, but I think we do up the loot time just a little bit. I thought the 1, 2, 3 was a little quick for me.
Maybe like 5 seconds or...
We can try 5. I think it might even need more than that. It might need 10.
Because really
there
that
were some
game
people
is
that were
about...
eliminated instantly.
And some of it is about, in that game, I feel like, it's not just about getting your kill on the person. Really, that game is about getting the loot.
Yeah.
So if you get interrupted because somebody's coming up and trying to stop you from looting somebody, that's just part of it, basically. Like, that's part of what you have to deal with as a strategy for that game. Like, at one point, I was telling Isaac, we were talking about it, and Futin had killed someone and successfully looted them, and he had to leave that person's body because somebody else came up and was going to kill him. And he just basically ran around, and that person stood there with their name held out for Futin. When he ran by, he basically just exchanged it with the person. But it took him a minute to get back to that body. And the person was cool about it, the dead person. They just kind of stood there with their ticket out waiting for Futin to get close enough to be able to trade him. But stuff like that is how you're going to have to manage that game, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
So something we can kind of focus on for next time. There was plenty of times where someone successfully looted someone. You know, they looting 1, looting 2, looting 3 success, and then they would get killed, and they still were trading names. Is that how that works still?
no. If they can't successfully
Okay, well, then we did some
pull it
things
off
wrong.
and
as-
get the loot, then they just failed, basically.
Okay. Even if the other person's like taking
What I
an
kinda looked at it
obnoxiously
like-
long time, like I mean, how do
To
we
get it out,
Yeah.
okay, that might be something we need to address as a whole. Like, just say, make sure, and I did say that a couple times, make sure you have your name in a position where you don't have to dig it out. But I saw people putting them all the way in their pockets, where then when they died and got looted, they would have to like sit there and dig it out of their pockets, and maybe that could put someone who's trying to loot them in potential danger. And maybe we need to address that. Figure out a way to make sure that they're just hold them in your hand if you have to against your weapon, whatever. You drop it, pick it up, I guess, because I don't know how else to get them.
What,
Go ahead.
what about putting them on sticky notes, and on the inside of sticky note, and then tape it to.
Well, they
their
were on
card?
sticky
I
notes,
can
but
tell
I
you
would
what
be
would
worried
fix
that
this.
they would fall off.
I can tell you what, I know what would fix this, but which is the badges. We have gold
Yeah.
badges at Phlarp. When you get gold membership, you get a badge. Well, if everybody just threw their badges in the hat instead, you could pick a badge out, and that would be your target. You'd have to be careful about showing it to people, but
Yeah.
then you could like just put it around your wrist or hang on to it or whatever. I mean,
I like that. That's a good idea.
or put it around your neck
Yeah.
backwards, so maybe
Right.
they can't see it, or inside your shirt or something where it was easier to get to, but it's not visible necessarily.
I mean, to be fair, if we had like just the plastic part of the badges made, we could still write somebody's
and
name
put
and
them
put it
in
in
there.
the badge.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Just
right.
lanyards.
Without the badge itself, just put the
Yep.
name in there. Yeah. That way they can easily, and then you can be like, yeah, either put that on your neck where it's easily accessible, something, so that isn't an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the cost to make those things are, but it seems like it might be worth it because that game type does seem really cool.
Mhm.
It might even be like a new player favorite.
I was gonna say something and then I forgot.
It was a
Probably
lie.
a lie. Yeah, that's what my great grandma used to say.
Is there any way of making like a separate, like just for this game, making separate, like just name tag for that, so that when we do decide to play this game, we just hand them out randomly, and then whenever the game is over, we collect them and put them back in.
Well, the main problem I think we have with that is we never know who's going to be there to
Yeah.
participate
So
in the
if I
game.
make a list, right?
You'd have to make one basically for every character that's ever come out to LARP, and an ability or like the ability to make more if there's a new person there.
Right.
That is a lot of work. I don't know if that's
is.
possible.
But like what he's saying, we could just write them on a sticky note like we did,
Okay.
and then just
Put
put
'em
them in a blank lanyard
Yeah.
and be like, hey, for those who don't have badges, we just use these.
And
Okay.
Then you would just require like 20, 25, maybe 30 blank lanyards.
Yeah, which we have those. So,
Right.
and when I originally bought them, I was like 50 or something. And we had like 50 or 100 of each that piece of the lanyard. So
Okay.
the sleeve and the
Yeah.
string. So yeah, I was trying to think of a scenario. I know there was a scenario that I was thinking of that I was like, oh, this came up, and I was going to say something about it, but I can't remember what it was. So I guess if I remember, I'll go back to it. But yeah, I thought that game was pretty cool. I thought.
And I think everybody did enjoy it. For most of the feedback that was given after the game was that everybody did enjoy it. They were like, "Hey, this is really good." So, I think that's going to be another one of our player favorites.
That might be easy to like set up and play.
Yeah.
It requires just a little bit more setup because of the names, but yeah, it's pretty easy.
I mean, if we have at least 3 marshals working on it, it's really not that big of a deal to write out 20 names on sticky notes.
Yeah, and I almost
Yeah.
made them do
Or
it
30
themselves
names.
anyway. Say, if you're going to play in this game, write your name real quick. But then I thought, well, maybe they'll like write it where you can't read it, so I tried to do it myself. Even though maybe sometimes when I wrote it, it wasn't as eligible either, or legible. But
It
whatever.
was still legible. I mean, we pretty much knew who was who, so we were good with that.
And then I think there's a couple other versions of that game too that was kind of getting worked out, but we hadn't completely figured it out. So there might be some more on the horizon that kind of work similar to that one.
What would you call that game? Just Assassins, or would you want?
It was
call
listed as Assassin's Creed in the computer.
Was it?
Yep.
I like that.
Cool.
As Eric the Red, I like that.
The other name I had, which is kind of an inside joke, but was Ninja Assassin. And the reason that's like an inside joke is because Rogue used to have 2 different branches, just like the other classes. And the 2 branches were called Ninja and Assassin. And then there was like a movie. We used to play this game where you would badly explain the plot of a movie, and someone had to guess it. And there was like a meme, basically, where everyone would just scream out that movie. They'd be like, Ninja Assassin, like every time, like over and over. So there was kind of a joke. And I was thinking, well, maybe we could name one of the other ones that, because there's supposed to be some other games that are kind of work along the same lines. So.
And I kind of think that sounds a bit like your wonderful stories you like to tell that are supposed to be so hilarious.
What,
I mean, they're funny to him.
I mean-
the Ninja Assassin thing?
No, that was funny.
That
I was
name?
around for the Ninja Assassin stuff. That stuff was funny. When we were playing that game, there was this one kid, and I cannot remember his name or anything like that, but he was the one that started it. And it like started a trend where everybody was yelling Ninja Assassin anytime we played the game. It was pretty funny.
And you want to know what? I've never seen that movie ever.
I haven't
I
either.
have no idea.
Nor have I seen that kid since then.
Oh yeah. I don't even remember who it was, but I do remember there was somebody specifically who was doing that all the time.
Yeah, he came for like a few weeks or something like that, and that was pretty much it.
So yeah,
What else do you got there, North?
let's move it on here. We got the new game was pretty much a success. We did have one new person, but we did not go on a patrol with them because basically they weren't really all that ready to fight. But hopefully, if they show up next week, we'll do a patrol for them. Or not next week, sorry.
Yeah.
I did offer to make them a character today. They just said they wanted to watch for 1 week. So
Cool.
hopefully they enjoyed it and they'll be back.
I do believe that somebody spoke with that person, and they said that they really, really enjoyed the time that they got to see it. But quite frankly, who knows?
Okay.
Well, I would assume they know.
They came with Raven Shadow Weaver, so I mean, if that says anything, yeah, that guy, he sucks.
I
He's
think-
terrible.
That guy loves LARP, and hopefully that translates to other people around him loving LARP too. So that's all I got to say about that.
I mean, he may love it. That's quite all right, but frankly, he's about as bad as North.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Shots
harsh.
fired.
Okay, bad as North, fair, but it's not quite as bad as North's Jambalaya, right?
Oh, you know,
Orleans is the taste of New Orleans. They wouldn't put it on the box if it wasn't true.
Yeah. Keep it up. You want to
By
hear, you want
God.
to hear that again?
by God, I don't care if it's a box or not. Zatarans is not New Orleans. I've been there.
You've been there?
I've been there.
Wow.
I traveled by, what's that jolly old fat dude's name?
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Eric the
Is
Red.
it Eric the Red?
Yeah, I traveled by his sleigh. Come on, Max, let's go again.
Cool.
Oh, that's funny. So you want to get to that box right there? Is that what we're doing
Yeah,
now?
I guess so.
What is in that box?
This ye old suggestion box is here.
Eric the Red said he wants to, hold it for a few minutes.
I'm sure he did.
I think that's a bad idea. He broke the last one, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, be careful. Oh my gosh. It spontaneously exploded.
That's pretty funny.
I'm gonna pass them over there.
Sure.
I got a cool one. Today was great. More feathers for tickling.
Interesting. I got a great day. Thank you.
Today was fun.
Perfect.
You got a positive one, or are you gonna bring us down over there, Grinch?
It says more like today, but yeah, I think today sucked.
Fair
For
enough.
all you who's down in
Did you just read
Whoville.
that one? Great day, thank you. Was that
I
one
just
here?
read that
Oh,
one, yeah.
okay.
I just
This
threw-
one?
Go ahead.
This one says I had fun, so there's another good one.
Good. I got thank you for adding songs. There are many, many more Bardcore songs to fight to.
Nice. Yeah, there are actually like 1,000 on that list, and I stayed up till like 2 in the morning. I downloaded about 200 of them, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna write down where I was at and go to sleep.
Perfect.
So
I got a. Can we get more feathers? Can my colors be purple or red? And can we see if we can get the bathrooms unlocked for Phlarp, which are normally unlocked?
It's because the park's closed. Yeah.
And can I help with anything art related? I love anything art, but they didn't put their name, so I don't know.
I think
Well, let's
I know
answer
who
some
that
of these
was.
then. Okay. Can we get more feathers? I don't know what that means.
The feathers on the pins, I think.
yeah,
I think they were speaking of the quills. Yes.
do they mean to like more pens with feathers on them, or just more feathers for them?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's two suggestions for
Is
feathers.
is
though.
that two different answers?
It's answering a question with a question.
I'm asking. They're asking if it says, "Can we get more feathers?"
Yes, I have more feathers upstairs.
Also, can their colors be purple and red?
The colors of the feathers.
No,
No,
that
this says, "Can my colors?" I assume this is like a clan thing.
Yes. If you're listening, whoever this is, yes, you can.
And
have
we already
purple
kind of
and
answered
red.
the bathroom questions. I mean, they'll be unlocked whenever the park's unlocked.
Yes,
Like, that's-
I'll tell a little story about this because they'll probably never hear it.
Okay.
I went up to the city hall, and the lady at the desk was like about to revoke our ability to even go in the park at all. So I just got out of there. I was like, I went up there, tried to talk to him about because I talked
Just
to a
driving
maintenance
in,
guy once
right.
before. Yeah, about just letting my truck up there, and she was like, "Oh, you guys go in there while it's closed?" And I was like,
See ya.
"Yeah." I said, "We don't really mess with anything or anything though." And she's like, "Yeah, because them lights are up there and whatever." And like I said, she'll never hear this, but just so everybody else knows, we like changed where we were fighting and did all kinds of stuff and told them, "You come within 10 feet of those
Lights.
decorations and you're gonna just be dead." So
Yeah, we're
stay
not.
away from
Yeah,
'em.
we're being very careful. Up
Yeah, we
there
were already being way
around and
cool.
respectful about
Yeah.
the stuff.
Heck, me and you picked up.
I picked up trash
decorations.
all over the place.
Their
yeah.
decorations had
Oh,
fallen
yeah,
over,
they're
and we were
penguins.
straightening them up. Yeah.
We're fixing up their stuff for them.
But anyway, so I was just like, this lady's not gonna, she's not gonna be down for this. So I just got out of there. So, and I
That's
figured it was,
probably a good move.
and it was only for one more week that we'll have to kind of come at a different angle from
This
the
is
park.
the last
so.
week for it, isn't it? Because next week is,
Yeah.
is Christmas, then the next
Well, we
week
thought
is
that
the
they
Oh,
might
well.
run
year.
it through New Year's.
Oh,
Right, there
okay.
might be one more
Okay.
because of New Year's. Yeah, I don't know if they'll take it down because of holidays or
That's
whatever.
true. Yeah.
So
And as far as the can you help with anything art related, I am sure that we could find something for you to do.
Well,
yes, we need a graphic designer
Yeah, I was just
actually.
gonna
Yeah,
say.
somebody who will do art and could even potentially, not only get a discount on some gold membership, but even potentially get paid for something like that. Yes, we do need a graphic designer or an artist.
So if you're listening, let us know who you are.
Yeah, if there wasn't a reason why you weren't anonymous, or like if you're okay with not being anonymous, let us know in the comments, or at least just send us a message. What?
I do know who it
Oh,
is.
Yes.
Um,
Do you think there
And-
was a reason why they were anonymous, or was that
It's,
just
it's
kind of
good
an accident?
handwriting. It
I-
looks like a
it's-
girl's
it's-
handwriting.
it's
I'll say
very-
that.
does it look like a possible 17-year-old's handwriting?
That's what I was
I don't know,
thinking.
but it's beautiful handwriting.
I think it
then,
was Moo.
That makes
Yeah, I
sense.
kind of thought that's who it was.
There's like
too.
even a little tongue sticking out here. They made like a little face and a
Yeah.
little heart on here.
She had actually told me that she did some like drawings or art or whatever. So
I even heard that Marshal Eric the Red, who is a god, I heard he almost killed you today, North,
Almost.
for
Almost,
for
yeah.
being really close to them lights.
If he was a god, he would have.
Well, luckily,
yeah, I made a break.
Clearly,
away
his
from those
power
guys.
is limited.
power is limited to a 5-second rule.
Yeah, and I made it out of the danger zone because I went over by the lights for a minute.
He did. He was going over there and he was like getting a cup, and I started counting 5, 4. He's like grabbing the cup and kicking his sword. He's trying to get it out of there. He got out of there at like right before I was about to count 1, and he was like, "All right, I'm out."
Thanks for keeping me honest too, though, because I did think about it when I went over there. So you already read that.
That's
one.
all we got.
Okay,
That's
yeah, I got
pretty-
one more.
pretty
I got one
positive
more, and
stuff.
it just says, "Contact Terex for ideas on website," which is the guy who does our website. So Terex, I'll get to you.
Cool.
Yes, we do have a website, but if you go there right now, I went there the other day, and it looks like it's set up for like a dice game or whatever, like a role-playing dice game. Yeah, like D&D.
Interesting.
So we'll get that fixed.
Speaking of which,
Oh yeah, speaking of which,
we watched your movie
Yeah, do
suggestion.
you wanna go over
At
this?
least I did.
Did you?
I did.
I did not.
you did not.
I
Uh,
did.
You
not.
gave us a movie suggestion and then didn't watch it.
I didn't expect to be back so soon, which
That's
I
okay.
love being here. But 2, I just was so busy this week. It was my wife's birthday, and
Sounds like a lot of excuses.
it is. It's all.
It's an hour and 45. I mean, you could split up in 15
I
minute
have to bear.
segments.
It's all that.
I have a embarrassing admission.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
What was it? Sunday night, Monday night? I think it was Sunday night. I bought it rented it on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I got about 30 minutes in, and I was like, I am not watching this whole thing right now. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. It's like real late, and this is really boring. And then I went to bed and went to sleep and forgot about it all the way until like Sunday. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll finish watching this movie, that I rented.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
like,
did you have to re-rent the movie?
and it was like,
Oh
you have to, if
my
you start playing it, you have
So
to
you
finish the whole thing within 48 hours. So I actually had to rent the damn thing twice to watch it, to finish watching.
So
it.
you
How much
like
does
to-
it cost to rent a movie?
It was only $3, but
That's still
$6
$6 to watch that movie?
And
Yeah,
you could have
Oh,
yeah.
could have
dude.
bought it for 10.
Probably, yeah. The buy,
Probably
yeah.
cheaper than
You're
that.
right. You're right.
That movie is awful. Like, okay, it's maybe not as
You were
bad
de-
as like,
you- were you
I was
defending it
defending it a
earlier?
little bit
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't think it's quite as bad as you were acting like
I
it was.
hated this movie.
There were some
I straight
moments
hated
though
it.
that I did laugh out loud. Like there was some funny aspects to it that made me kind of enjoy parts of it.
I agree with that.
I definitely enjoyed. As soon as I realized that, what was it, Pantheon is his name?
Yeah.
That he was
think
voiced
that is
by
his name.
Scar. I was way into that character. Like that is so cool.
That is something that I want to make sure we do when we're doing these reviews, is making sure that we're talking more clearer about who we're talking about. Because if somebody else hasn't seen the movie, they need to at least be able to follow along with like who we're talking about. And so, and then mainly that's me.
Right.
I was being all over the place when we were trying to do the.
Let's see. I
The
thought
other
that movie
one,
would
so-
be right up y'all's alley.
So I'm gonna look
after
up the
watching
names to be
Unicorn
sure.
City.
Yeah, no, I
mean,
hear you. Well, so the big difference I think too is, and there's, I'm happy I watched the movie, admittedly, but D&D and LARP just like there are similarities, but there's a lot of big differences
There
too,
is.
and it certainly wasn't a LARP movie.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Even though that movie, well, it was from 2000, that
Yeah.
might have been the worst CGI that I've ever seen in my
it's bad.
entire life. It was so bad.
And they were proud of it too. They
Yeah.
used it right
Oh,
from the
yeah.
opening
They're-
shot. The
yeah.
blood.
That blood was awful
Yeah.
looking. It looked like syrup. Like it,
Yeah, it was bad.
it was so thick.
And I will say one of the few things that I did enjoy about the movie was Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons
Yeah.
was that movie did not deserve Jeremy Irons. Like Jeremy Irons was doing a lot of acting with some
Yeah.
terrible like lines and like situations. Like they're like, look at this dragon that you're about to control and like pretend like you're about to get it, and he goes. There's a part where he's like yes, and he like does like this weird thing afterward, and like he's like all into it. But yeah, he did an amazing job with his role. Let's see, I was trying to find it just
You
to
know
be
what?
sure
One-
who that guy's name was.
one thing I will
think
say-
it is Pantheon though.
That I was rather disappointed in was, and the names are hard for me, but the antagonist, the bald guy that was working
Okay.
for, and again, I'm
The guy with blue lips. If you've ever seen this movie,
he's
it's
got
the
blue
guy with
lipstick on. Okay, that guy. At one point, he's talking to the mage girl that was like kidnapped or whatever, and he's like very upset, basically saying, "I have to do this. Like he's gonna kill me, right?" But then later on,
Yeah, I saw that.
That ticked me off because he had an opportunity basically to do the right thing and he didn't.
Yeah, I have that written down at one point. I wrote down, is Blue Lips bad or good? Because he was like talking about how he didn't want to be there and doing that and trying to.
So
but-
it went from like I'm trying to save myself to I'm just evil at some point.
I think
because he still took it out of his head, which I didn't think he was going to do.
I didn't either.
They missed an opportunity there because the bad guy says, "You told me you were going to let him go or something," and he goes, the Blue Lips guy says, "I lied," and then
Yeah.
he goes back to his
I
master.
thought that he was going to
and
say
he
I lied
said,
as well.
Yeah.
I really did.
And he
Yep.
he goes back to his master and he's like, "You said you were going to take this monster out of my head or whatever," because he's got like the main bad guy puts
Some
like
kind
a
of parasite.
parasite,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
in
brainworm or
the
something,
secondary
yeah.
bad guys, like his first in command bad guy's head to make sure he does what he says. And he's like, "You said you were gonna take this virus out or whatever," and I thought he was gonna go.
I lied.
lied.
I thought
Yeah.
he was.
And then he did, and he took it out, and then the guy Blue Lips still was a bad guy after that. So I was like, well,
maybe
he must
felt
be a
some
bad
kind
guy.
of like allegiance towards him or something after he actually did take it out of his head.
Yeah,
but
'cause he was-
also, why'd you put it in there in the first place?
Stockholm's.
to give him
Pretty
the
much.
ability to read that other girl's mind, I guess, because at some point it
Maybe.
came out.
Well,
of
he
his
said
head.
he did it so basically if he messed up again, he was just going to let the thing kill him, basically.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoyed the movie. I was sad when they killed snails, admittedly, because I thought, was it Marlon Wayans?
Mhm.
I did enjoy him in the movie. He added a lot of like very
That's
comedic
funny.
moments.
Because I literally wrote here. Let's see why my note about snails. Where is this?
I put in there that when there's a Wayne's brother involved, it's got to be a funny movie.
Yeah, I mean, I did think it was funny. You did make a comment to me though that basically you thought about time whenever he died.
Yeah, I thought I wrote down. Thank God snails died. That's what I thought I wrote down somewhere. Because I was just like, oh,
Well, you
thank
know what?
goodness
At the end of the
that
day, the
guy's
joke's
dead.
on you because he may not be dead.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That was the most confusing part of the entire
the
movie,
very end.
actually.
The
Yeah.
very end, yeah.
Yeah, and then the one
Yeah, we
girl's
talked
like,
about
"Don't
that.
question the gift," and we're like, "What gift? What is happening?"
Yeah.
No one knows what's happening.
It's like she was talking to the audience. She was like, hey, don't question this. It's weird. And then it just happened.
Yeah, I still don't. Hopefully, they clear that up in the next one, which
So-
is supposed to be released
so
real
to-
soon, right?
to explain to the
there's
audience.
actually 3 movies already.
No, I don't know if I can
And-
watch anymore.
Yeah, and they
With
didn't.
snails? Did they bring
I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't watch them. When I was looking at it, I was like, oh, there's 3 of them.
I know there's
did
like
see
a
one
new
from
one
like
coming out.
2014. Yeah, that one actually looks good.
Yeah, the new one, I can't wait to see. I want to see that one.
The new one is supposed to be Dungeons and Dragons 2: The Search for Snails.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how they ended the first one.
Yeah. So
Like,
I want to explain this.
Oh,
So
okay, go ahead.
at the end of the movie, they're reminiscing about snails because he died. And they go to like a headstone that they have carved his name into the top rock of this headstone. And they pull a gem out that they used to open a lock in
It's
a door.
called the Dragon's Eye.
And I guess they just went back and got that gem.
Yeah.
Like
because
that's
I don't remember
kinda
him pulling
confusing.
it out on the way out.
Yeah, and then he sets this big giant gem on the gravestone, and Snails' name uncarves itself basically out of the stone.
Through magic.
Yeah, and then they all kind of look at each other like, "Oh man, does that mean something?" And then they pick up the stone and they're all holding it.
Together.
Yeah, they all got their hands on it, and they're like, "Don't." It did it like a pulsation happen or something. It seemed like something else
I don't-
happened.
Well, they
It
like
was like-
disappeared.
It was like the magic went into all of them that were
while they were
touching it.
holding
Yeah,
the
while they
stone.
were holding it, the magic went into all of them,
And then she
and
says,
then that's when she says,
don't question
Don't
these
question the
gifts.
gifts.
Yeah, and
So,
then
yeah.
and then they disappear. Like they
Yeah, they literally disappear.
don't even go into the stone.
No.
They just like turn into dust, ghost like
I mean,
Ghost
maybe,
dust. Is
Yeah.
that what you were gonna say?
yeah,
maybe like-
basically
maybe Thanos came and
snapped at the right
Could
time.
be.
Like, don't
It
question
did
the
look
gifts.
like a stone.
and then they just get dusted.
Yeah.
I do have to say that even though you wish Snails was dead, I think he gave one of the best lines of the movie. Is whenever they're running and the main character, I forgot his name, but he goes,
I wrote it down somewhere.
"Get the
Thought I
dwarf,
did. I
I'll
didn't
get
write
the
none of this
girl."
stuff down.
Yeah.
And Snails says, "Man, why do you always get the girl? And I got to get the damn dwarf."
Yeah, he did that a couple times about different stuff. It was pretty funny.
And I think I think this was in the trailer too, but one part that did make me laugh, and I've always thought about it since. It's one of the only like memories I really associate with this movie is when the dwarf is like, "You need to get you a big 250-pound
dude.
woman with like."
So
something to hold
okay.
on to.
Yeah, so
you can hold on to her
basically,
beard.
context of the conversation, and he was making fun of that elf girl.
Yeah,
because
scrawny or whatever.
the Marlon Wayne's character or Snails was interested in her, and he was basically, I don't understand why you like an elf. I want a 250-pound something to grab onto and like all this other stuff, and
He's like,
it was
with some
very
hair.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it was funny.
He said, "With
Gotta
some hair."
have a beard.
Yeah, so you can have something to hang off of. You said.
That was one of my favorite lines of the whole movie.
It was very funny.
I played a dwarf back then in D&D, so it was like
I could have dealt with more of that.
Yeah,
That guy
that
making
was
some really good
hilarious,
jokes
yeah.
like that.
He didn't have a whole lot of lines. The dwarf did, not really.
Really
No.
didn't have a lot to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like he ran at that last guy. I was like, "Oh man, we're gonna see some like dwarf rage or something," and then the guy just like shocked him. And then I thought, aren't dwarves like resistant to magic or something in D&D? But that could be like conflating some other property. And then it didn't matter. You just
Really, elves
just
are usually the ones
blast
that
it
are
out of the way
resistant
or
to
whatever.
certain magics,
Mm.
like charms and stuff.
Mm.
But either way, we're getting out of topic here.
Right.
Okay, so overall rating
Yeah,
as a LARP movie, go.
0.
Yeah, 0.
It had no
basically.
LARPing in it at all.
Okay, so
I'll say a 1 because the costumes. There were some cool ass costumes.
okay. That's true.
The main guy's costume was pretty sick.
And it
even-
was fantasy themed, which
Yeah.
I will say we do use like a fantasy themed LARP. So I think maybe 0 was like unfair, but it would be low. Like
like a 1.
yeah, I'm on there too, like a 1.
okay, so I actually gave it a 3. I was trying to be
Generous.
generous, but I disagree with that.
What would you give it, Grinch?
Screw it. I give it a 0.2.
0.2.
That's nice of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on that heart thing. But I said it had great character costumes and loved the theme, but it was not very LARP themed, but still had a certain
Aesthetic.
aesthetic to
That
it.
was-
That's true.
And you?
Oh yeah, it's not a LARP focused movie.
Oh, that's right. He can't answer.
I can because I've
He
seen it
didn't watch it.
this week.
Oh yeah, he gave the recommendation and then
Gives
did
the
not
recommendation
watch the
and then
movie.
doesn't watch it.
It's
He's all
actually
like,
on my wish list. I'm gonna buy it when it goes on sale because I do like that movie. So
Well, you
much.
can rent it on YouTube for $3. You
Or
can
for
watch
6 if
for
you're
48 hours. You have to watch it.
But as a LARP movie, I'd probably agree with one or two.
Like there wasn't anything. You know how you asked that about the
Yeah.
first movie? You said, "Is there anything we could use for LARP?" I could not. Even if I tried really hard, I couldn't find anything in there that would be useful. I will say, his move to hit the giant was pretty cool. Like this big giant guy come in and he stabbed his foot, and then ran up like his leg and kneed him in the face. I don't know if I'd have went with a knee on the giant, but it was still a pretty cool move. It was like I was like, oh, that's like an actual like cool rogue move type thing.
Are you talking about when they were trying to escape the castle?
Yeah, they were in the Thieves Guild thing, and there was like a big giant. He went to leave, and he opens the door, and there's like a big guy out there, and then he
Yeah,
looks
they
up
weren't
like
in
this.
the Thieves Guild anymore. They were escaping the
okay.
castle where they were stealing the map in the wizard girl. I can't think of her name.
Okay.
But yeah, I know what
The
you're talking
school?
about.
Were they at the school, or I don't
No,
know?
this
Was
was
it
well after
no,
that.
this is
Oh.
after that.
Well, whatever.
He was just a
Anyway.
large man.
Yeah, like a huge guy.
Yeah. He was throwing him against the wall.
And
Yeah.
he did a move where he basically
He
stuck
stabbed
his,
him in his knife in the foot, which was pretty cool.
and then ran up his leg to
Yeah.
like hit him. Which
I
was
mean,
pretty
he was pretty skilled. That
Mhm.
the thief.
The few times that he did actually fight, it was pretty cool. It took a while though to get there.
Okay, when
Am I
you said
missing
a
something?
big, huge guy,
Yeah.
my mind went directly to Boondock
Mine
Saints.
too.
He's like,
A huge guy. We got a
who was
serial-
it? Who was it? So you got shot by a big fucking guy. That's what you're saying. No.
I don't know if I've never seen Boondock Saints.
The move, the
Oh my
Indiana.
God,
actual movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but it's a really long time.
Isn't there like a cartoon too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've
That's the
seen.
Boondocks.
That's
a
the
total
Boondocks.
Okay.
different.
Just called
that's
the
a-
Boondocks.
Yeah, that's a totally different.
I've
genre.
seen some episodes of that.
Doesn't the Boondock Saint have
It's got-
William Dafoe as
yeah.
the detective?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he listens like classical music as he puts the scene
Right,
together.
yeah,
Yeah, that, I remember
And
that.
it's,
one.
is it just a movie or
Yeah.
a TV series?
Yeah.
There's
it's
two
just-
movies.
There's two movies. And it has Norman Reedus
Yep.
and I
Okay.
can't think of the other guy's name.
Yeah, I can't either.
Um,
But they both do fantastic. All three.
both of them. Yeah. Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Norman Reedus, so that's just me. But off topic. All right. Overall rating as a movie itself.
If I didn't know this was attached, like, okay. I
Four
have
and a half.
problem- I have
I'm going to give it a
problem-
4.5 before he says anything.
I have a problem with
4.5.
If it wasn't attached to a D&D property, I'd probably give it higher, but because it's touted as a D&D movie, I feel like it missed the mark so bad on what a D&D movie should be. So I'm going to say like it'd still be higher than what it was as a LARP movie, so 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna have. To
You
give it
can't answer, so I actually gave it a 5. And again, it was just because it was a Wayne's brother in there, and he's funny, so that's what I like.
Well, see, I watched it when it came out, so there's this
In
nostalgic.
2000? You
Yeah.
remember it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
there's,
people-
There's
I was
a
8.
nostalgic. There's this nostalgic value for me. I was an adult playing D&D then, so there's a nostalgic value to it for me. I would give it like a 7.
Jump the gun on me, bro.
All right, so do we need a new movie to watch? And whose turn
Yeah,
is
I
it?
guess so,
Please
but
say
I want to
me.
elaborate more. I've got more to say about this movie.
I don't know if we have time.
Yeah.
We're 35 plus 6, so we're 40 minutes in. All right, I'll save that.
All right.
Let me get the best ones. Let me
Okay.
just say the
Okay.
best.
All right. He's got 3 pages of notes on this movie
But he
that
didn't
he
like the
hates
movie.
so much.
Right. He hated
It's
the movie.
just
but
probably a
let's talk
bunch
about
of
it.
hate comments, is what
Yeah,
it is.
I hate watched it basically.
Here, let me read them.
What'd you guys think about that unnecessary flip at the end of the whenever he's doing like the obstacle course and then he gets off the last
yeah.
thing and he goes "Huh!" and he does like a whole flip and lands?
I
Was
think
that pretty cool?
Yeah, I thought it was cool actually. And my
Sweet move.
reasoning is okay. is he was trying to show that guy, like, you know what, screw your maze.
Why didn't he go past that part in the obstacle stand where they were at and go "Huh!" over the fence that they were standing at when they were looking down into the maze?
I don't know, man.
Why'd they
Well,
build
he had
their
to
whole
complete the
guild
maze.
above a maze? All right,
He had to
all right.
complete the maze. That was the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
point.
You know what? I thought at the end of that he was going to say, this was a test. This is what Isaac said, too, is that he was going to say, this is a test. The actual real thing we need you to go get is somewhere else. Because why would we
Well,
all
no,
come
clearly
down here and-
he couldn't even get to it. That's what
But
we
they
ended
were
up
like
figuring out.
standing around it,
Dude,
going from section to
I
section,
don't know.
looking at
Apparently
it.
it
was
killed
awful, dude.
everybody.
Okay.
You were thinking they were going to pull a Super Mario Brothers. Sorry, but your princess is in another castle.
Yeah, basically. And did you see the part where he picks up a hookah in Domodor's like room, and he goes, all right, Demodor,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
He like picks it up and looks
He
at
almost
it.
like sits down on his bed. It's like near his bed for some
Yeah.
reason or another. Yeah, I remember that.
So that's a good thing that I thought was funny. I also thought it was funny when Ridley mocks Snails, when Snails is saying, he's saying something like, oh, every time you do this, blah, blah, blah. And they're showing Ridley why he's saying it, and Ridley's mouthing what he's saying because he says it so much that Ridley knows exactly what he's going to say.
Well, they're best friends.
Yeah, that part was funny. I thought that part was cool. Oh, there's thank God Snails died. It was in there. See? Confirmed.
Come on, Max.
That seems hateful.
And also, this is just what I thought. I just thought it was funny, but it could just be me, apparently. But when the elves, they said, like, all I heard when they were talking about how they were born with magic and that some people learn it is I thought to myself, I was born in magic. You merely adapted to it. Like, I just thought that in my head whenever they read that part.
I'm just saying, I'm hearing nothing but good comments right now.
Right.
Yeah, well, these were the good
Yes.
ones. We already talked about all the bad ones. I put their cartoon characters. Does that help?
Not particularly.
No, that's a whole different movie. There was a D&D cartoon back in like the 80s.
Oh, and
I
does the
remember
dwarf know he's in a movie? There was a part where the dwarf looks right at the camera and says, that's no way to do business. Everybody else is gone. Do you remember this part?
That part is actually hilarious. I don't know why you're like
Who is he
hating on that
talking
part.
to?
I don't know, but that part was
Who is he,
very
Deadpool?
funny. Maybe he was breaking the fourth wall. That's okay. People can do that.
Because he knows he's in a movie?
I
the
guess.
dwarf?
I don't know, but
I
it was
thought it was
funny.
crazy.
She's
I mean,
basically like, pay you when it's over.
Then
And
why is he do... Okay.
it's meant to be funny. It's
I
still
kind of
a
think
movie.
that
I did
Deadpool
not
should have
laugh.
been in there. I mean,
Why did the blood catch the river on fire?
I still don't know.
Okay.
I'm
You
not
got
sure
that
on that
then.
part.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm really not sure. You got
no
me
idea.
beat on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Honestly, a lot of this is just about the first 5 minutes of dialogue. And then also, I had a real problem with the logic of Jeremy Irons telling those people, you will go steal her staff so she can't be in charge. And if she resists stealing her staff,
Then we'll know her true intentions.
yeah, therefore she's evil no matter what. And everybody's just like, yeah, like he's just did like a real smart thing or something.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
mean, to be fair, I think that just shows, like, especially, like, this is going to get controversial, but
uh-oh.
I think it shows, like, how easily people are, like, manipulated and, like, whatever. Like, I think they almost wanted her to be bad for a reason or another. They wanted to believe him that he was right. And
Just so they could
also,
not have to change things because she was trying to
yeah,
say that
he
peasants
was trying to
should be
empower the
equal.
council, and she more or
Mhm.
less was saying she didn't care about the council.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they wanted to agree with him, I think. Though they do show a
makes
part
sense.
after they both talk. Remember, they're going back and forth, and there's
Mhm.
basically, they were like, there's going to be a war.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I'm not scared of you. And she, like, walks off. There's a good amount of the council members that get up and leave. I'm sure you noticed that.
Oh no, I did not notice that.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, because you can see them, like, whatever. I would say maybe 30% of them get up and leave. Like, they agree with her.
Oh, okay, like they have a problem with.
Yeah.
Okay. It was kind of interesting too that that's the same girl that plays. I'm pretty sure that's the same girl that plays in Neverending Story
Really?
as like a little kid. Like
Not
she's
sure.
the princess,
Maybe.
and she wears almost the same exact kind of headdress and costume. It's like almost exactly the same as in Neverending Story.
now I'm going to have to go back and look.
I'm pretty sure that's. who
Were
it
you
is.
alive when Neverending Story came out?
No.
I was.
Also,
How old were
we
you?
don't really have to talk about this.
What
but
year did it come out?
this is my question.
I wanna
This
say
is my
like
question for the
86.
podcast, and it's going to get a little dicey. Is titty armor stupid?
Yes.
I don't think
Okay,
it is.
That's my question. I think it's stupid
no,
too.
I wasn't alive. Not even close.
I was 6.
Oh, okay. Then you know I wasn't alive.
What year?
84.
84? Yeah.
84.
Math,
Six.
we'll just say I was 6.
Yeah, you were 6.
Just gonna
'Cause-
skip over this.
So titty armor.
titty armor.
Titty
Here's
yes.
the thing. Okay. I want to paint you a picture. Okay. So first off, it wasn't just titty armor. Okay. That armor covered her tits and her entire stomach area, like the
Yeah.
entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you? What would you be happy with if you had tits, right? And I come up and I cut you in the tit because you didn't have armor there.
Well, I don't want no armor there. I'm saying I want the same armor as the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
that's
want my
not
armor to stick
possible
out.
because the men don't have tits.
So if I have bigger tits, then just make the
Hey,
chest
some-
part bigger.
Some of us do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of us do.
Sorry,
But plus, just make that chest part bigger as you would a guy with a bigger chest. Don't make it so that I'm gonna literally set my titties down in a vulnerable area.
Okay. Well, at least they're more comfortable that way. You're not getting all squashed and stuff. You don't have tits. You
Well,
don't know how they
maybe.
feel.
Maybe.
So
true.
okay, I'm just saying. I didn't have a problem.
I
with
think it increases their hitbox and is dumb. It's just to me, it was just a way to sexualize basically
Well,
the
yeah.
armor
What's
Yeah.
wrong with that?
That's all it is.
because it's not. It doesn't provide any sort of purpose whatsoever.
It protects the milk.
Okay. All right, touche. It protects the milk.
But
That's the
like,
question.
In reality, though, okay, I'm just saying there
In
should.
reality,
In reality, yeah. In reality, I do think that probably provided some kind of comfort
don't
level
you think
for the
there would
women.
be structural integrity loss by having to make two big holes that you can just, and then creating a whole nother like cones of metal and then putting them on it? You would knock those titty armors right off. Good swing.
Personally, I think if they're gonna wear armor, and make it realistic looking, they should actually have a breastplate. Like a traditional type breastplate that comes up almost to their clavicle, their shoulders and stuff. They don't have to make it over sexualized. Now, as a
She
guy,
almost
I
had nipples
appreciate
on that armor.
Which
Almost.
and I can appreciate that aspect. I appreciate the view.
The
But-
nipples.
But if you want something realistic, no. You're not going to go find a true Amazon warrior who's going to wear just titty armor.
Right.
It wasn't just titty armor.
and belly armor. They're going to
I'm
protect.
saying it was a one piece. Here's my argument. Okay.
That
It
armor
was-
had a belly button.
Are you
What
gonna, Are you gonna let me finish here? Okay, I'm not saying it was perfect. All right, but what I am saying, okay, is it did provide some kind of protection. One, two.
So would regular. Okay.
Okay, let me
I'll
finish.
let you finish. Okay.
Okay. Two, I do think it would be more comfortable for a woman to wear armor that had a spot for her titties and they weren't smashed down the entire time. And my reasoning for that is they wore that armor for long periods of time. Like long periods of time, especially in travel and stuff like that. And though I do think they get kind of crazy with it, like sometimes they put like nipples and crazy stuff on the armor, like as a general rule, I do think that there should have been some kind of room there for a woman in general.
But to be fair, they do that kind of,
Okay.
they do that liberty with men's armor too, with putting on like abs and
True.
big
True.
pecs and
I mean,
Them look like
have
they're
you
more
watched Troy?
chiseled than they might be.
yeah, Troy. For
I mean,
example.
I definitely appreciate that kind of armor because
Brad Pitt.
me and Max, we eat a lot. And to answer your question, no, it was not the same person. The Empress on Dungeons and Dragons was played by Thora Birch,
Right.
and so it was not the same person.
Who is the person who played on?
Let me double check. It was definitely not Thora Birch.
Oh. Well, then I guess my girlfriend was wrong too, because she totally said, "Is that the girl from?"
I mean, they did look
she
alike.
said that name even.
You
But-
have to remember
Oh,
that's 26-year difference. She would have been in her like 40s.
She's been like 4. Or yeah, 4 in her.
Yeah,
40s.
that doesn't
Yeah.
even make sense. Where'd you get that?
What?
1984, 2000.
Yeah,
Same girl. Come on.
Okay.
and she only aged like.
Then
5
she looks
years.
incredibly close to that girl.
Maybe they're doppelgangers.
Maybe.
Good makeup artist.
Yeah, that too.
So to be clear, that is the question in the comments.
Actually, the question I had.
Or you had a different
Oh,
one.
I
you're
had-
just gonna overstep his
Yes,
comment?
I'm overstepping that.
If you don't want to address, if you want to just stay away from the titty armor controversy,
I don't think we should. I think we should save his question for the next
For- yeah.
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
All right.
That's fine.
So
I think it will actually
So
go
the
with
question
the next
is-
podcast.
Titty armor or no?
Titty armor or
titty
not?
armor.
you've
Now-
heard both sides of the
Yeah.
argument.
Now, are we asking is it better than no armor, or are we asking is it better than just standard armor? Clarify.
It's definitely better than no armor. That's a
Exactly.
stupid
Right.
question.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Is it better than
What I'm
regular armor?
saying is-
Also, yes.
would it be better? Yeah. Would it be better than just having what regular armor
Okay.
everybody else has? Dudes have. Even though your titties are going to be smushed down.
It's going to be painful.
Yeah. Even though it's going to be painful. Like
It depends on the size of their titties.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
not all.
And to be fair,
not all women have.
the example we're using, I don't think that girl had large breasts.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah, I don't think she was filling those
but
out
I
too
do
much.
think you have to have armor like that for women who do.
in
Tammy's-
that case, I need that armor.
Tammy Stronach. Stronach.
All right.
That was the
I accept being
the
wrong.
childlike empress.
Thank goodness. The first time in your life you've accepted it.
About time.
Okay.
Winner.
I humbly.
That's
Yeah.
Chicken dinner.
That's not
the right
that.
one?
No, that one's gone completely.
Okay, I guess, and that's all I had for that movie.
Okay,
was
so
trash. It was alright.
that
It was just not great.
we have to thank our wonderful co-host for that trash movie.
Hey, it's just paybacks for that Unicorn City one.
Oh, the Unicorn City.
Unicorn
was
City was
fantastic.
great, dude. I don't know.
If you
You're
want
fired.
to watch a bad movie, go watch Monsters and Mazes.
Dude, Monsters
Yes,
and Mazes.
go watch Monsters and Mazes.
Did you watch? Have you ever watched
I
that
have
one?
not seen that one yet.
No, please do.
Please.
Please.
worth it.
I beg you to watch that movie.
And then come back.
And then you'll appreciate the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Come
Yeah.
back
I already
on.
appreciate that one.
Yeah.
Come back on. Oh, that was a question. Since next week is Christmas, are we going to be out on New Year's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just
Okay.
just not.
I'll be
Christmas.
there.
Okay. So then come out on New Year's Day.
I will.
I'm
And then just-
canceling Christmas.
Me too. Bah humbug.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal all their presents too. I'm just saying.
All right.
Oh, perfect.
No, but for real, we won't be there on Christmas. So,
We're avoiding fights around here.
Damn,
Yeah,
what am I gonna
so-
do Christmas Day?
Drink
Well, I can
eggnog.
tell you what we can do. We can take Max and load him in the sleigh and just, have a grand time. Even though it's probably going to be, 75 degrees.
All I heard was Slay Max.
That works too.
Goodness gracious.
all right. So we got to get through. We actually are about 4 minutes left on this hour, so we need
Okay.
to. What do we do? Suggestion box. What is this? Announcements.
So we need a movie.
yeah, we need the next
Code word?
movie.
No,
No,
is
that
there
we're
a
going to do
sense-
that in the next
I was
episode,
gonna
I
say,
think.
there's-
But I do have a suggestion for a movie. We have 2 weeks before we revene, right?
Okay.
And I finally want to push out Role Models.
Okay.
Okay.
Role models.
I love that movie. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I haven't seen it in
I'm
a
going
while.
to try to pull something from that movie that we can use here. I am 100% going to do that.
Oh, I want to write this down.
I'm sure we can.
This is something somebody put in the comments and then asked us if we saw it. It was a movie called Zero Charisma, and I don't even know what it is. So
No,
I'm just
never
gonna
heard of
write
it.
it down
So we don't forget it.
to remember. Yeah, but there, we don't have to do. We're not doing that right now.
Is
And
it,
also,
is it spelled charisma?
Oh yes, that's exactly how it's spelled.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
there's
looking at
4
it.
A's in there.
It looks a little wrong.
Do we need another A in there? How's
Please.
that?
Yeah,
I think
that
you-
looks more accurate than
I
before.
think you missed a Z.
Oh,
At the end.
That's at the very end of the word, silent.
charisma.
By the way, can I leave you guys with a joke?
Sure.
Okay.
As long as it's not, north kind of joke.
My joke is, why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
I know this one.
I know it too.
Do you?
Yeah.
I
Do you know
don't.
it?
No.
All right, then let me tell this punchline. You ready?
Yeah.
Because the P is silent.
Oh my god. dude.
Max, did you get that one?
That's pretty funny. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
It's clever, right?
It was.
It's
Even
definitely
Cindy Lou Who
dad
thought.
level joke.
Well,
It's
that's all
actually-
I tell.
It's kind of hard to come up with jokes sometimes that aren't too racy, but are still pretty funny.
That's
so
funny.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I got a plethora of dad jokes. We can go through them sometime.
Yeah.
Did Cindy Lou Who tell you that joke?
Yeah, she did, because she still hasn't grown into her nose yet. And it's Cindy Lou.
That's what I said.
Cindy Lou Who.
All
Anyway.
right. So
Well, we hope you keep watching.
Definitely.
And we hope you keep fighting in the name of Darvishan.
Did you say farting?
Yes, farting.
And we hope to see you all soon.
Bye.